Can you hear me?
Okay, we are ready to go whenever you are.
Just to start, what did you make of the end there and the way that you guys were kind of able to get Porzingis involved?
Well, I mean, it's a good thing to bounce back after a tough night last night. Quality opponent. I know they played as well, but anytime you have to go up against a guy like LeBron, it's you're in for a night because he can go off at any point, and he had a stretch there, which is pretty amazing. The way he's playing right now it's unbelievable. The number he's put up, his production. So we knew we were going to be up against it, and we knew we had a challenge. So to be able to keep pace, weather the storm after they hit big shot after big shot, showed a little bit of resilience, a little bit of grit to stay with it, not get frustrated. Then we started to make plays. Obviously KP late. Sato had a good stretch. Ish, Denny. So we go down the line. Everyone who went out there gave us something, and I think that's just how it has to be.
And so, with Porzingis, are you guys using him the way that you envision when?
Yeah, to a certain extent. I mean, I think you have to pick your spots. You don't want to play that way the whole night, but just reading how they were guarding it, they were switching and putting a smaller guy on him, get him to a spot where he's comfortable. He doesn't have to really put it down, just raise up and shoot. And then late, they wanted to stay in coverage, so we put him back in, normal pick and roll action, and he hits a big three. So that's part of it. I think it's also him getting a little bit more comfortable with the other four guys out there, them kind of reading and feeling, where he wants the ball. So you can play off of him. And I think it's the more comfort he gets, the better we'll be.
What can you say about the lift you got from the bench?
Well, it's big. I mean, that's a big lift for us, and our bench has shown that time and time again this season. To get that, consistently is where we want to be, but we needed all of it tonight, which was it's a good sign. It's the best part about it. Honestly, our offense was clicking. The fact that our fourth quarter defense, we held them to 20 points, 42 from the field, and overall we were the aggressor. Got to the line 30-plus times, but it didn't detract from how we wanted to play. Went to KP late, but we had 30 assists, so the ball kept moving. Throughout the game. That's important. I think that's when we are extremely efficient.
And what's the update on Kuzma and his knee?
Yeah, he had a little bit of knee tendonitis as he tried to warm up this afternoon, and it just bothered him a bit too much. So just wanted to let it calm down a bit, and he should be good to go when we travel to Houston.
Wes, I know you're most concerned about this season, but if you were to extrapolate for next season off of some of the things you saw tonight, how encouraging is it as you look at it?
Well, I mean, it's encouraging, but I don't want to jump ahead of myself. The fact that it was one game, and we were desperately in need of a game like this, so that's great. But we have to do that consistently. I think that's what we're looking for, a level of consistency, not only on the offensive end but defensively. Can we sustain play for as close to 48 minutes as possible?
How welcome was the aggressiveness that you saw from Denny throughout the entire game?
No, I think that's who he has to be, and it's not hunting shots. It's not playing reckless, but playing with a little bit of force. Defensively, you're going to have your hands full, but when you get opportunities, play downhill, protect the ball, try to finish in the paint, and then turn around and made a big three late in the game. He stepped up with poise and knocked it down. So all those things are incremental steps for him. But to see where he was early in the year, and obviously I wasn't here last season, but from what I'm hearing, what I've watched, where he was last year to now, he's a different player.
Coach Kristaps comes in and does damage tonight. Of course, playing in the Western Conference as a member of the Mavericks, he knows LeBron well. Also as a Knick, knowing LeBron in the Western Conference. Guess my question is, what was Kristaps like in the huddle during this game?
He was his normal self. He doesn't he gives input, which I think is great. He has a feel for the game and understanding. He'll vocalize his thoughts about what he sees, but he's not over animated. He's not doesn't get too high, too low. He plays with poise, and I like that about him. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
When I look at Kristaps, I feel like he's so tall. He's still developing. And I guess when I look at him, I see him as such a dual forward. If you could give him an attribution as far as position and what he means for your team, what do you call him? The Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, well, you know what? You could argue he's a 5, he's a 4, he's a basketball player. And he's a very skilled one. His size oftentimes, guys get pegged because of their height, or they're a lot of guards, sometimes their stature. But, what does his game bring to the floor? His ability to space the defense. We've seen him play off the bounce, play in the post. I think he's a better passer than he's given credit for. And overall, he's done a decent job, throughout his career protecting the paint. So you could say he's a 5, but, the way he moves and the way he's able to space the floor, offensively, he leads more toward a 4. So I don't want to label him, but right now he's our starting 5, and he's a hell of a basketball player.
Lastly, LeBron James came in the damage. They didn't get the win. I would consider you a basketball historian because of your family background and just who you are as a basketball mind. When you look at LeBron, where do you peg him as far as guys that you've coached or guys that you've seen as a fan of the game?
Well, his career is historic, and I can't come close when it comes to guys I've coached. Obviously, I've coached, Jokic, who's an MVP. I had 1 year with Clay and Steph out in Golden State. Obviously, that goes without saying. But, to look at his career over the years, and, the sustainability that he's had, to play at such a high level for so long, the durability, it's really impressive. And I'm not sure it gets enough credit, for all the things that he's done, not only for the teams he's played for, but for the game itself. So, it's a heck of an accomplishment, and, I don't see him slowing down anytime soon.
What did you mean of the way that you guys have been able to kind of patchwork point guard with Brad out and specifically tonight with Ish and,
Well, you have to kind of platoon them. It's tough at times because to play 3 guys at any position is tough. The minutes get choppy or a guy sits too long. Sato kind of toggles between, point guard and 2 guard. And we just kind of go down the line. What do we need in that moment? What fits, and we've talked about Raul has done the best job overall keeping us organized. Where Ish's pace and his ability to attack, collapse the defense and make plays has been good for us. Sato does a little bit of those 2 things, but his size allows us to play and switch, especially late game. So trying to find that combination, 2 of the 3 nightly is not always easy, but, those guys have been good, good teammates about it, and they understand, hey, we're just trying to do the best we can in the moment. So whoever gives us what we need is who's going to play.
And then you have Denny's playmaking in there as well, so how does that kind of factor in?
Well, that factors in because, Sato's going to eat into Corey and Denny's minutes, and you don't necessarily want to do that, but we need to go with the guys who are playing well.
How do you think Rui handled his starting assignment today?
I thought he was terrific. And, to his credit, he didn't know until, I think, 2 minutes before the meeting, when that's like 36 on the clock. So, they were trying to get, Kuz warm and get him moving, and it just didn't work. So we let him know, and he was fine. And I didn't see any ill effect or any change in his demeanor at all.
Did you mention anything to him about dealing with the situation?
No, I just told him, hey, just so you know, you're going to start. And he dealt with it just fine.
Christos?
Hello, coach. Congratulations on the win. In the current time, we saw 3 European guys, Danny Avdia, Kristaps Porzingis, and Thomas Satoransky, took the ball in their hands, make plays. How important is to have those type of players, and how admire you personally? How admire the European basketball?
Well, you have guys who know how to play. There's a trust factor. Now, it's make or miss, and you can figure it won't always go your way. But they're going to try to make the right play at the right time. And I think that's just the way the game is played over there. It's game first and individual accolades second. And that team basketball is probably one of the biggest attributes. So it carries over. Those guys have been terrific. And we take a lot from it. I know I do, watching EuroLeague stuff and picking up some, after timeout plays and things. Very creative, very fluid, very positionalist at times. And I think we've seen over the years how the NBA has kind of adopted more of that style.
very much, Coach.
That's it, Coach. Thank you for your time.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Yes, sir.